Good evening, I'm Todd Kuntz. Glad to have you here for your local news at 5:30. Parents across the nation are concerned recently about student safety after the school shooting in Texas. Eyewitness News 3 Seth Ratliff talks to a local director of school safety on what they are doing to keep your students safe.
The nation is still reeling from the shooting in Texas as gun reform and school safety are called into question. Local District 93 Safe School Director Gordon Howard says a tragedy like this concerns educators everywhere.
We get calls from parents anytime something like this happens, and for good reason. I understand totally why. And a lot of times they're not aware of what we're doing in the districts.
Howard has worked in education for over 20 years. He says in the last 6 years alone, people's perception of school safety has dramatically changed.
There was that thought process of, well, it'll never happen here. Well, we've had 2 incidences in Rigby in the last year, so to say something like that won't happen here is not true. But I think I've seen the mindset changes not only from parents but teachers is we appreciate you're taking these steps to keep our kids safe and our teachers safe.
Most schools in District 93 now have limited access control, time locks, and triple authentication in entryways. But Howard says it would put his mind at ease if the state put more emphasis on safety.
I'd love to see us to be able to have more SROs in our schools. Our elementary schools, we don't have them stationed there. Even if we didn't have one in every elementary school, if we had more that we could put out there, I would love to see the state put a little more funding into that.
While there are no plans in place to add more student resource officers, District 93 does plan to make remaining safety changes at schools in time for September. Reporting in Bonneville County, I'm Seth Ratliff.
And with that, on the national front, a group of bipartisan senators is working behind the scenes to find common ground on new gun control legislation. This comes as President Biden welcomed New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern to the White House. The Prime Minister oversaw swift new gun control measures in her own country after a mass shooting there in 2019.
In the aftermath of that, the New Zealand public had an expectation that if we knew what the problem was, that we do something about that.
President Biden promised to meet with Congress on guns, but gave no further detail. Speaking in their home state of Connecticut, Democratic Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy said they plan to put the issue to a vote one way or the other. The Senate's top Republican, Mitch McConnell, talked about compromise at an appearance in Kentucky, but did not mention gun control. House Democrats are working on their own package of gun control bills that could include raising the age limit to buy semi-automatic rifles. But the legislation faces an uphill battle for 60 votes in the Senate.